Todd, the director, runs up and he's like, hey man, are you gonna swear like you do in your show? And I was like, am I allowed to? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, buckle the f up. I moved to LA to be an actor. My big goal was to be like the frumpy guy on some sitcom that only had a couple lines every 4 pages so I could mainly hang out at the craft service table. My friend wanted me to open for her band to make it look like she was headlining, so she was like, just sing anything, I don't even care what. And I'm like, well, I just sang I Am Woman at karaoke and it f***ing kicked ass. So I sang that. Some guy walked up to me and was like, I booked the Viper Room, and if you can make this a 20-minute set, I'll book you at the Viper Room. I was like, are you serious? Because he's like, when's your next show? I'm like, never. He's like, all right, well, so I booked a show, put together 30 minutes of girl songs. I sang I Am Woman, You Light Up My Life, Flashdance, and Fame as a medley. Started catching on, and every show I thought would be my last show. And then Todd Phillips showed up in the audience. So Todd Phillips comes to the show, he comes backstage, he's like, hey, I'm doing this movie, I need a wedding singer. What would you sing in this wedding?
Turn around, every now and then I get a little bit tired of listening to the sound of my tears.
So we show up to record the song at the shoot, and you know, it's the first day of the movie. I'm freaking out because Will Ferrell's there, and you know, loved him from SNL. We go to sing the song, and it's just, you know, I start singing Total Eclipse, and you see the cast and the extras all look over like, is he serious? Which is the brilliant shot of Will Ferrell looking over, which made me want to kiss him again. Yeah, and that was basically it. I mean, I was there like 2 hours, sang that song, and cashed the check.
And I need you now, tonight. I fucking need you more than ever.
I did Total Eclipse, and then it was time to do Private Dancer, which was my secret favorite song. So I like brought up an old lady onto the stage who was just an extra and didn't know where she was, honestly, and I like put her on stage and sat her on a chair and started performing Private Dancer for her, which I think changed both of our lives. It didn't end up in the movie, and Todd afterwards was like, dude, it's gonna be on the DVD, don't worry. And when we later did Starsky and Hutch, he came up to me, he's like, DVD comes out today and Private Dancer's on there, your whole performance of Total Eclipse and Private Dancer. And there was a fluke at the factory and they didn't include it. I've still never seen it. But when we did The Hangover, he came up to me first day on the set and he was like, I got you an old lady to make up for Old School. And that was the old lady that I sang to for Candy Shop.
Gonna back that thing up, or should I push up on it? Break it down for you now, baby, it's simple. You be an info, I'll be an info.
One of my favorite moments was after The Hangover, you know, everybody would walk up on the street when I moved back to New York and be like, yo, Candy Shop, 50 Cent, whatever, and just whatever they'd say, and I'd be like, hey, it's, you know, I was on 9th Avenue and it was like, 50 Cent, 50 Cent, and I'm like, yeah, and they weren't looking at me. It was really 50 Cent. Going by on a bus, he was promoting Street King, his little energy drink, and he was throwing out Street Kings, and that was one of the worst, horrible moments of my life. I was like, I hate myself, and I'm going to law school.
Go ahead, girl, don't you stop. Keep on going till you hit the spot. F***ing give it to me, baby, nice and slow. Climb on top, ride it like you in the rodeo.
Yeah, so like I'd moved to LA to be an actor, and that was my big goal. The band thing was kind of a joke, and I didn't think I'd really end up being in a band. The last thing I wanted to do was be in a wedding band. You know, like it was funny for the movie, but suddenly every day we were getting tons and tons of requests to have us come, and they're always like, we don't have any money, but there'll be plenty of beer and plenty of babes. I'm like, oh, well, save me a chicken skewer. You know, like I can't wait to get there. What they don't realize is like, it's horrible. Like when I start performing and really just kick into it, it's like, it's a lot of crotch references and F words, and that's what they're paying for. But then the old ladies, the grandmas, are in the front row who like get their hair set at 7 a.m. and sit with their purse on their lap waiting to come to their little grandson's wedding, and they're the only ones in the front. Everyone else is off dancing, and then the grandma's looking at me, I'm looking at her, and I swear, and she looks horrified, and then it's awful for both of us. So for that reason, I don't like to do weddings.